Matthew 12, Jesus says something kind of interesting. He talks about how you can be forgiven for just about anything. You can be forgiven for blaspheming me, saying bad things about me. But the one thing you can't be forgiven for, he says, is blaspheming the Holy Spirit. And there's been a lot of confusion over the years, over the generations really, as to what this means to blaspheme the Holy Spirit. If we take the surrounding context of this passage into account, what we discover is that Jesus is responding to the religious authorities of his day, basically saying that he only performs miracles and casts out demons and heals the sick because he himself is demon-possessed. In other words, what they were doing was calling the good that Jesus was doing in the world, helping the afflicted, liberating the oppressed, these kinds of things. They were calling these good acts evil and even demonic, which is a way of twisting that which is good into that which is evil. And Jesus is like, again, say what you want about me, talk all the shit, if you will, about me, but don't twist goodness into wickedness. This is what I think Matthew's Jesus meant by blaspheming the Spirit. The Spirit is presented in the Gospels as the thing that inspires us and empowers us to bring love and goodness, liberation and healing and peace into the world. To call that evil shows a corruption of the heart on the deepest level. And it's really hard to change if that's the case. It's like an eternal sin, if you will, and a sin against yourself, a sin against your own humanity and the humanity of others. This is what I think it means to blaspheme the Spirit. And I think we see this with a lot of people today. We see this among a lot of evangelicals who have come up with this idea that empathy is sin. Perhaps you've heard that before, the so-called sin of empathy, which tends to mean that if you are guided by empathy and compassion and love for others, say LGBTQ folks, trans folks, and whether or not they should be able to use the bathrooms they want, use the pronouns they want, receive the health care they need, that this is somehow evil to be guided by empathy in these matters, or it's somehow evil to be guided by empathy and compassion in the way that we think about how to treat migrants and other people on the margins. This is, of course, utter nonsense and actually quite twisted. This idea that empathy is evil and really what it means to blaspheme the Spirit.